Tom Watson with week 3 from the Mike Watt Missing Men hyphenated-man tour 2011. The first date of this section would be starting in Jacksonville, Florida, at Jackrabbits. It's one of the second to last gigs that we're going to do with Light. We arrived at Jackrabbits, and it's the club has been really transformed into a new space. It's really a lot larger than I remember it, and kind of cleaned up. The whole neighborhood's kind of cleaning up in a good way. The things I remember, well, one thing is that Rob is the sound man there still, and it's nice to see him, talk to him a little bit. I haven't been there in 8 years, 9 years, maybe 10. I don't even know. Something like that. No, 8 years. It's also March 24th, which is my mother's birthday, so I give her a call, and we talked for a little bit. The show goes really well. I think it's a fun night. A lot of people show up. I spent some time talking with some of the younger people, just kind of explaining who Light was, and meet a couple cool people. One dude makes a little J Mascis doll that he lays on us, and I put it on the dashboard in the van. Anyway, by the end of the night, we end up rolling over to Elle's place where we stay when we come to Jacksonville, and she's got a new house, which is amazing. And I end up sleeping on the kitchen floor, which is nice because it's kind of padded, and it was a really nice evening. I had a good time. The next day we get up and head to Atlanta, and in Atlanta we have to make it to a record store called Criminal Records, which I've been to before because Raul and I passed through not long ago with Lou Barlow, and we were touring with Dinosaur Jr., and there was a little in-store in the store that time. So this is also an in-store, but Light is going to play, and they do play, and they did play, and it goes really well. You might hear that a lot because everything seems to be going really well. There's a great record store, by the way. If you're ever in Atlanta, you should check out the Criminal Records record store. It's on a busy little street, so it's kind of a hectic parking situation. In fact, it can breed a lot of anxiety somehow, but we get out okay and head over to the Earl, which is a nice sized little club. I've played it before with Watt, but also with Red Crayola, and they have a nice restaurant in the front portion, so there's food involved, which is also very nice. The show ends up being sold out, which is a great thing. It's a Friday night. Things are, it's a pretty solid evening all the way around. We also play with a group called Ricer, who had a really sweet sound. Well, sweet is probably not the right word. They're rockin', but Brandy is the guitarist, and she's got these great-looking guitars, and they sound really good, and it was nice to meet them. After that, well, actually, I have to say, when Raul and I were at the Criminal Records store gig, a dude just walks up to us named Tim, who just offers his place. He asks if we need a place to stay, and we say, yeah. And, he mentions that there's a place for the van to be parked, it's safe, and all that. So we're set up for the night. So by the end of the evening, Tim Bailiff and his wife, Beth, guide us to their place, and which is amazing, and we get to hang out with them for a while in the evening. And Beth has a whole ceramic studio in their house, where she has all these molds and kilns and things that I'm familiar with. So it's fun to kind of check all that stuff out. I'm also feeling really not 100%, in fact, kind of 50%. And I'm not sure if it's allergies or just run down or getting sick or what, but tour can do that. So I'm trying to take it easy, not drink much and get a lot of sleep. The next morning we wake, and sadly it's the morning that we have to say goodbye to Light, and they have to head early. Well, not really early, but around 9:30 or so to get to the airport to head back to Japan. And actually, when I wake up, I feel really not well, and so I think I run out, and they get one photograph of me looking really sick with everybody, and I jump back in bed for a while. But it's always sad to say goodbye to Light, or anyone for that matter, but especially Light, because we really have a nice time together. And hopefully when they get home, they have a nice, some kind of, things are going well for them, because that's how hectic everything is in Japan at the moment. Anyway, so we actually hang out with Tim and Beth for quite a while, because it's not that far to Athens from Atlanta, from where we are. But we do head out, and it's cold. There's some chill in the air. There's some dark clouds, and we roll into Athens in late afternoon, and it's actually beginning to rain a little bit. We're playing at the 40-watt club, which is really cool. Pretty large space, but the best thing I think about the 40-watt club is the way the backstage area is set up, which is like a little catacomb backstage rooms and lounge area with two or three bathrooms. It's very comfortable for quite a few people, at least a couple or two or three bands easily. It's also a very well-run club. Like, everyone who's there is doing a really good job. And before sound check, I talked to Wilson, who's the monitor dude, and explaining my physical condition, and he says, "Oh, well, that's," I said, I thought I had allergies, but I also feel kind of like I have a temperature, and so I thought maybe I was getting ill. And he says, "Well, that's hay fever." And I realized that, oh, fever. That means I never actually put that together with the allergy part, that you actually get a temperature with that. So that makes me feel a little better, and he brings me to CVS, and I get some allergy medicine and aspirin and stuff, and he kind of helps me out with that. And so I'm very appreciative to Wilson for helping me with that. I'm still, even so, I'm feeling pretty crappy, and just trying to conserve energy so that the gig goes good. And as the day goes on, the group that plays before us is J. Roddy Walston and the Business, and really sweet dudes, really nice guys. Just as the evening goes on, we get closer and closer, and it's nice to meet people that you can kind of really bond with in such a natural way like that. And a really good turnout too for such a large club. There were a lot of people there, and it wasn't sold out, but it was pretty good, cozy. I don't even know how many, but it's a big room, so it felt good and solid and comfortable and warm, even though outside it was extremely cold and thundery and lightning, rain, and even I think there was a tornado warning. Anyhow, after the gig, we roll over to Barry's house, which she's the owner of the club, and she's got the most amazing house I think I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of amazing houses, so this is a really incredible place to be able to stay for the evening. She's super nice, and we order some pizza and have a couple drinks, and I don't stay up too late, but still I don't think we're in bed before 3 or so. So anyway, Raoul and I share a bed upstairs and get some sleep. The next day we get up, kind of check out the house a little more, because in the daylight it's even more amazing. We say goodbye to Barry, and before that, I also have to say that date is the 26th of March, which is Caroline's birthday. And so that's something about tour where I do miss a lot of things that I wish I didn't miss. And those maybe top of that list would be birthdays like this. So it's always a weird mixed emotional feeling for me to be playing gigs, which is what I love to do, but also miss things at home that I wish I didn't have to miss. So I don't know, it's like being on a fishing boat or something and you just can't come home. However, the show goes on. We get up and we head towards Charleston, and the drive there is just like it's getting colder and wetter, and by the time we get to the poorhouse, which is actually on an island, one of the islands off of Charleston, well, they're all connected by bridges, but it's Charleston, South Carolina, and it's not downtown like where we usually play, but it's a little island community suburb. I think it's Jones Island. Not 100% sure of that, but anyway, it's a cool room, nice people. We get settled in. I'm feeling like crap for the most part, so I just try to conserve energy and stay still and drink a lot of water. Took my allergy medicine, and we played with a group called the Fairy Godmothers with Doug and Ballard, two-piece band, guitar and drums. Super cool guys, local guys. And the evening goes great. Actually, it was a fun night. Even though I'm feeling terrible, we play well, and I think we connected good. I don't have much energy. If anything, the criticism of myself would be I just didn't have enough energy to keep. I don't know, be able to surge a little more in certain places. I kind of just buckle down and try to conserve energy and play the parts right, and so I don't have a whole lot of extra, energy to give to the show. Anyway, after that we go to Doug's place, which is this amazing house, again, in a different way from Barry's, but it's like a little, like a railroad house that had been moved in the 50s or 30s or something. I don't really remember, but super great place. Doug is so nice, and Raoul and I sleep upstairs in a little attic conversion area, and excuse me. Everything goes just fine. It's a cold, rainy night, but we all are pretty snug and comfy inside, except Bob, who sleeps in the van, which is, I wish, it's probably better if he stayed inside, but he can do what he wants. He's a grown man. Okay, so the next day, Chapel Hill. We got to get up and get rolling, because it's not a super far drive, but it's far enough, and by the time we get to Chapel Hill, it's still really cold, and in my opinion anyway, my humble California opinion. Played a place called the Local 506, which I've never played at. Mike and Raoul both played there, and it's also a town where we know Jenny and Laura, and they play together. They used to play with Ed from Ohio, and so that's how we met them. And it turns out we ended up staying at Laura's place that night. But before that, Jumbo and Jumbo's wife, Laura, Jumbo brings me some strap locks for my guitar, because I guess Mike had written that my strap popped off a couple times, and so that was a great surprise, and I put those on, and that works great, so no more strap losing, guitar dropping. And it's a fun gig. I think it's one of our sweatiest gigs for some reason. Maybe it was really heated up in there, but I think we played good, and each show has its own little learning experience involved in it that we try to hold on to. So there's no wasted mistake. It's not like it's a waste of time. Okay, so the next day, we stay with Laura. I say goodbye to Jenny that night, and then stay with Laura, and it's out kind of in the countryside, and great old house. It's not that old, but it's a nice house out in the woods, and I fall asleep, but then I wake up and come out and join the after show, whatever. It's not a party really, it's just like hang out, and ate a couple slices of pizza, and I don't know. I don't think I had anything to drink, but I met Melissa, and well, I think I went back to bed and went to sleep. In fact, I'm sure I did. So in the morning, we get up and head towards Richmond, Virginia, and we were playing the Canal Club, somewhere I've never been, which is right near the river where it floods sometimes. I don't know if it's in the flood zone, but it's near, because I know they have the flood walls there. But before we actually go to the club, we stop at Kyle's place, which I've stayed at before with Watt, and he's a super great guy, has a wife and a little boy, and I think 8 dogs and maybe 6 cats, something like that. A lot of animals, but there's a lot of love in the house, so everyone's got, getting a lot of attention. He has a friend who brings over some barbecue, and amazing barbecue for all of us to eat, and we chow, get a lot of food in our stomachs for the gig, and then we head to the club and do our thing, and it was a fun gig, but I guess I'm getting a little vague in some ways because I think my energy has been so dispersed, in a weird way. I don't have a whole lot of focused energy. I'm kind of, I don't know, jaded from not feeling well. It's hard for me to remember subtleties. But met a lot of really great people. In fact, that night I feel like I saw people that I'd met before. In fact, a lot of people looked familiar to me in a strange way. But in any case, it was a good show, and we did our best, and played with a couple of great bands and nice people, met some great people. Nothing bad happened. We loaded out and got back to Kyle's, and he was grilling up some sausages at like 2 a.m, so we ate some more food, and I went upstairs onto the air mattress and fell asleep. I remember getting up and then heading to Morgantown, West Virginia, and that was another cold drive. We went up this mountainous pass, and it was snowing and windy, rain, and very cold and gray, and I was feeling not so well, so I tried to sleep in the van, and we get to the club and load in and do our thing, and then head over to LJ's house, and LJ and Lisa's place, and they have an amazing place, yet again, another incredible place to stay, which is an old lockmaster's house right on the river, where it's, I best turn of the century, from, 19th to 20th century, somewhere in there. Incredible house right on the river, and they have a little girl named Leela, and they're expecting another child. But after hanging out at the house for a while, we go back to the club and do the gig, and play with a group called Demon Beat, who are they're from a town nearby. I don't remember the name of the town, damn it. Really great guys, young guys that just seemed to have the right, we had a similar sense of humor or something. We kind of got along good, so they wailed on it, and had a lot of energy. It made me feel kind of old because I'm kind of run down. Anyway, after the gig, it's a cold loadout, but we get help from the people at the club, which makes it really nice. And head over to LJ and Lisa's place, and I think I immediately go up to bed, and I do, in fact, go immediately up to bed, and I sleep in their daughter's room, Leela's bed, because she's in the bed with their parents, so that was nice of them to offer that. It was nice to have a bed to sleep in, so comfortable, and a lot of toys to play with. And I just drift off into orbit, because there's a train that rolls past and a river that's rolling by the front, and it's a pretty relaxing place. And right there, I'm going to sign off from week 3.